Welcome to SS2 Economics. Today we explore the relationship between population and economic growth. Nigeria has Africa's largest population, over 220 million people. Is this a blessing or a burden? The answer lies in understanding how population interacts with economic output, employment, resources, and policy. Population refers to the total number of people living in a country at a given time. Key demographic concepts include population size, total headcount, population growth rate, percentage increase per year, birth rate, natality number of live births per 1,000 people per year, death rate, mortality number of deaths per 1,000 people per year. Natural increase rate equals birth rate minus death rate. Net migration equals immigration minus emigration. Population growth rate equals natural increase plus net migration. Nigeria current population growth rate is approximately 2.5 to 3% per year, one of the highest in the world. At this rate, population doubles every 24 to 28 years. Nigeria is projected to have 400 million people by 2050. Thomas Malthus, 1798, argued that population grows geometrically 2, 4, 8, 16, while food production grows arithmetically 2, 4, 6, 8. Eventually, population outstrips food supply, leading to famine, disease, and war, what Malthus called positive checks. He also described preventive checks, delayed marriage, celibacy, to limit births. Critics of Malthus point out that he underestimated technological progress. The Green Revolution dramatically increased food production. Subheading: Optimum Population Theory. The optimum population is the size at which output per head, GDP per capita, is maximized given current technology and resources. Below the optimum, more people increase output per head, this is underpopulation. Above the optimum, each additional person reduces output per head, this is overpopulation. Subheading: Demographic Dividend Theory. When a country passes through demographic transition, birth rates fall after death rates fall, there is a temporary window when the working age population, 15 to 64, is large relative to dependents. This bulge of productive workers can drive rapid economic growth if jobs, education, and healthcare are available. South Korea and China exploited this dividend in the 1980s to 2000s. Nigeria is at the start of this window but needs urgent investment in youth employment and education. Population growth has both positive and negative effects on economic growth. Positive effects: large labor supply for production. Big domestic market attracts investment. Youthful population equals future workforce. Demographic dividend if properly managed. Negative effects: unemployment and underemployment if jobs are few. Pressure on infrastructure, roads, hospitals, schools. Increased government expenditure on social services. Food insecurity if agriculture does not keep pace. Environmental degradation, deforestation, pollution. The net effect depends on the quality of institutions, investment in human capital, and economic diversification. A country with strong education, healthcare, and job creation can turn population into a growth asset. The labor force comprises all persons of working age, 15 to 64 in Nigeria, who are willing and able to work. Key terms: employed, working for pay or profit. Underemployed, working less than desired or in a job below skill level. Unemployed, not working but actively seeking work. Economically inactive, not seeking work, students, homemakers, retired. Nigeria youth unemployment rate was above 40% in 2023, one of its most pressing economic challenges. As population grows, pressure on natural resources increases. Nigeria examples: land, farmland per capita is shrinking. Water, Lake Chad has shrunk by 90%, 12 million people in the basin depend on it. Forest, Nigeria lost over 95% of original forest cover. Food, Nigeria imports large quantities of rice, wheat, and fish despite abundant agricultural potential. Sustainable development requires using resources at a rate that does not deplete them for future generations. Nigeria has had several national population policies. 1988 National Population Policy targeted average family size of 4 children, promoted family planning. 2004 National Policy on Population for Sustainable Development linked population to SDGs. Current target: reduce total fertility rate, currently 5.3 children per woman. Challenges include cultural resistance to family planning and low female education. Educating girls is the single most effective tool for reducing birth rates. Each additional year of secondary schooling reduces a woman's fertility by 5 to 10%. Nigeria GDP is the largest in Africa at about $500 billion. But GDP per capita is only about $2,200. If population grows faster than GDP, GDP per capita falls and the average Nigerian becomes poorer even if the total economy is growing. Key formula: GDP per capita growth equals GDP growth rate minus population growth rate. Example: if GDP grows at 3% and population at 2.5%, GDP per capita grows at only 0.5% per year. Let us summarize population and economic growth. Population growth rate equals birth rate minus death rate plus net migration, Nigeria 2.5 to 3% per year. Motors: population outstrips food, positive checks, criticized for ignoring technology. Optimum population: size that maximizes GDP per capita. Demographic dividend: window when working age population is large, opportunity if jobs exist. Nigeria fertility rate 5.3, youth unemployment above 40%, GDP per capita about $2,200. Solution: invest in education especially for girls, create jobs, diversify economy, manage resources sustainably. Population is not destiny. With sound policy, a large young population can become Nigeria's greatest economic asset.